Well, hey everybody. It's been raining pretty hard, and I've been in the woods for a few hours now, and it started kind of light. I thought it was going to stop raining, and it didn't. And I'm back in the woods here, I don't know, maybe 2.5, 3 hours worth, and I'm starting to get cold. And anyway, I said to myself, what should I do? Should I walk back out? But I'm feeling cold. The rain hasn't quit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a little fire and try and warm up and dry up a little bit for a few minutes here before I start walking out of the woods. And this is going to be a perfect opportunity for me to do a video on how to make a fire in the rain. And everything is wet. It's still raining right now. And but luckily I'm up in these ledges, and I found behind me, you can see a little ledge here, right? There's some dry material in here, and I'm going to start a fire, hopefully. One of the things I always keep with me in my pack is fire starting material. And I know a lot of guys can rub 2 sticks together and get a fire, and that's a great way of doing it if you know how to do it. The waterproof matches are probably a lot easier than rubbing 2 sticks together. And with the ferrule rod, that's a great way. You can do that also, but there's nothing really beats a Bic lighter. I can make hundreds of fires with 1 Bic lighter. And anyway, I'm going to start getting some dry material as much as I can. The trick is you want to start with as small a wood as possible, because and a lot of it too, because once it starts burning, it burns in a hurry. So we're going to get some material, some small sticks, as dry as we possibly can, and whatever dry material we can find, we're going to get, and we are going to hopefully get a little fire going. These rock ledges are perfect places. You can see the difference. Everything is wet out here, and it's still raining, but underneath these ledges I've got dry leaves, and we're going to use these leaves as a base to start our fire, because out here this stuff I'm not going to be able to do anything with. These leaves don't even crinkle. But leaves are not enough. And if I look right outside, I don't see any twigs or anything in there, any small branches. But right outside here, I'm seeing some dry. Now, if it's dry, let's listen to this. If it's dry, hear that snap? That's what we're looking for. If it bends, it's green, and if it snaps way too easy without that little snap pop, then it's probably a little bit too rotten. So we're going to take dry material. This is actually thick for a starter, but this is for my second loading of the fire. I want to get stuff that's really thin, you know, like here, I found a little piece right here. See, that didn't snap. That snapped a little bit. That's a little bit rotten. But if I skin this bark back, I may be able to do something with it. Anyway, I'm going to take the dry stuff that I collect. I'm going to build my fire right here in this area. So I'm going to go and see if I can't get a couple armloads, and we'll get this thing going. Here's the wood that I gathered. I know it looks really wet. Here's that one tree. Not really a tree, but as you can see the diameter of the little limbs on it? It doesn't really crack, but I'm hoping that with the dry leaves I can get enough of a base to get this thing burning. So first thing we're going to do, I'm going to move all this down, all of this wood down a little bit, and I'm going to see if I can get the fire going in that dry spot. All right, let's go to the pack. I keep a little camp pot with me, and inside of this camp pot I have, I'll show you what I have. I'm going to raise it up so you can see it. I keep a couple things of ramen noodles. When you're really cold, making like a soup with these is really, really good. I'm going to set this on the side. I'm not going to make that right now. Over here, I have a candle, which actually is a really good thing to have. Little tiny candle, some waterproof matches, and a Bic lighter. And let me put this back. It's always super, super important. It's very easy to get flustered and lose something. And in here, I keep a roll of toilet paper. You never know when the woods is going to call. And I keep another 2 lighters. The last thing I want to do, these things are cheap and they're super lightweight. I don't want to be walking through the woods carrying a whole bunch of stuff. If I'm in the woods, you know, all day long, I want my pack as light as possible. And anyway, so we're going to use a little bit of toilet paper, and and the other thing that I'm going to do is, I'm starting to get cold. I've got a Leatherman over here, and in my Leatherman, it's kind of dark. It's not a Leatherman, it's a knockoff Walmart one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these sticks and I'm going to scrape off as much of that wet bark that's on the surface as possible, and that's going to reveal the dry wood underneath. I don't really care about that wet stuff right now. I'm trying to get down to that dry wood right there. That's what I want. And I'm going to start building my base, and then we're going to build it up. What I like to do, my hands are so wet. I like to lay a couple bigger sticks, and we have no wind here today. If there was a wind direction, I would like to take the bigger sticks and make a funnel so that the wind would actually help my fire spread, but I don't have the wind, so we're just going to use this for right now. And I'm going to start skinning my little sticks. Trying to take as much of that wet stuff off as possible. And even though these leaves are kind of damp, I'm going to put some of these leaves right here. Not that green leaf. I'm going to use my toilet paper because everything is so wet. I'm not a big fan of starting fires with toilet paper. A lot of times it just smolders, but it may do better than the leaves. thing could burn out very quickly if we don't continue feeding it. All right. Look at that. It's looking a lot nicer. I'm feeling the warmth already. Oh, I needed that. I'm gradually getting bigger and bigger sticks on this. This thing's really wet. If you have something really wet, you don't necessarily have to throw it out. Just put it in the back of the fire. And you hear these? This is not the crack that I was hoping for, but I'm going to keep them in the back here, and I'm going to let the fire, that sounds a lot nicer, I'm going to let the fire evaporate the moisture. I probably said that about 50 times already. All right. So far pretty happy with what we got. That one sounds pretty good. Okay, if I had a bigger knife, I'd be able to take some of these and split them down. But all I got is this little Leatherman. I wasn't anticipating making a fire today. Even though, thank God, I had everything that I needed to make a fire, I was definitely not thinking I was going to do it. I'm real happy with what we got going so far. And I'm not trying to make a bonfire. I'm just trying to warm up a little bit. I think maybe I'll cook some of that ramen noodles also. That'll help warm up my core. There's a little bit, well, I'll put that on there. It's a little bit big for right now, but maybe it'll catch while I'm putting the other stuff on top of it. Okay, I found a couple rocks. I know a lot of people may be thinking, oh, you got to be careful with those rocks. Most people know, you get water in the, there's water in the rocks, and that water has a tendency of, or can make the thing explode, the rock explode. I'm just going to pull these down just a little bit. Okay. Oh, yeah, we kind of a little bit lost our fire when I did that. Okay. I always carry a jug of water with me. Whether it's hot or cold, having water is a great thing. These things are kind of on the low end as far as cooking pots go. I've already had them where the welds pop right off of them. So let's see if I can adjust this down and we can get a little bit of a fire going. Or not a fire going, I'm sorry. Get a little bit of water heated up here. Building a fire when you don't need a fire is always a lot easier than building a fire when you need a fire. Seems like when you really need it, and you may be a little bit panicked, that's the time things don't always go as you were hoping. There. Let's see if I can work my camera magic here. All right. It's really hot, but it's really good. Well guys, thanks for watching. I got warmed up, I got a little bit dried up, and I'm gonna eat this and go on out of here. Guys, thanks a lot. Bye.